Welcome to FUNNYMATH page. In today's lesson, we're going to use the angle properties of power lines to answer questions. In our previous video, I discussed with you how to, figure out the angle properties of power lines. We talk of, corresponding angles, vertically opposite angles, angles at a point, consecutive interior angles, and, many more. So you can go and watch that video, and then before you come to this one. Now let's begin. But to find the value of the lettered angles here, and as you can see, the lettered angles are X and Y. These are the lettered angles. This letter that you see here, A, P, B, C, Q, and D, they are not the angles that we're talking about. They are just the vertices of the lines. So they are not the lettered angles. So the lettered angles are X and Y. So how do we, go about it? How do we find these angles? We have to use the angle properties before we can, find the values of these angles. So let's begin. I want to start with X. Okay, so I can see that this particular angle, this angle 70 degrees here, it corresponds to this particular angle. So these are corresponding angles. This angle is called angle CQP. So I can see that angle, this particular angle, 70 degrees, is the same as this angle. They correspond. So angle CQP is equal to 70 degrees. And they are corresponding angles. So this and that, they are corresponding. Now, after knowing that this angle is 70, now 70 degrees and that of this particular angle, this angle, they are angles on a straight line. So they sum up to 180 degrees. So this implies that 70 degrees plus 2x plus 30 is equal to 180 degrees. They are angles on a straight line. So what do? We just have to collect like terms, 70 and that of 30, they are like terms, plus 2x equal to 180 degrees. So 70 plus 30, that's going to give me 100, right? 100 plus 2x, that's going to be 180 degrees. So making x the subject, so we have 2x on this side, we take this to this side. We take 100 to this side, or we subtract 100 from both sides. And that's going to be 180 minus 100. So we have 2x equal to, 180 minus 100 is going to be 80, right? So we have to, find the value of x by dividing through by the coefficient of x, which is 2. So 2 on both sides. So 2 goes into itself one time, 2 goes here 1, and it goes into 80, 40. So that means that x is equal to 40 degrees. So that's the value of x. So that means we've gotten the value of x. And how do we find the value of y? I don't have to waste time on this y, because 70, this particular angle, and that they are vertically opposite angles. So angles 70 degrees is equal to y. They are vertically opposite. So that's the value of y. Let's take our next question. Diagram line QP and line SR are parallel. So as you can see, the arrows are there to let you know that they are parallel lines. Angle QPT is equal to 3x minus 16. Angle QPT, that is this angle. So that is true. And angle PTS 118. So that is 118 degrees. Good. But to find the value of x, that is this. So how do we find the value of x? We have to, go through our angle properties to see the one that we can use here. Now, I can use consecutive interior angles here, or I can also decide to use a different angle property. We're going to get the same answer in both cases. So we decide to use any of them. So I can decide to find this particular angle. That means I'm going to use the angle properties of straight lines to find the value of this angle. This angle and that, they are angles on a straight line. And after that, this particular angle and that of this, they alternate. And alternate angles are the same. So I can use that approach. But I want to use, consecutive interior angles. Use that one to, verify. So let's begin. So I can see that angle QPT, angle QPT plus angle, this angle STP, or let me call it angle PTS, sure. Angle PTS is equal to 180 degrees. And the property is that they are consecutive interior angles. We said that consecutive interior angles, they sum up to 180 degrees. So this angle and that of that, they are consecutive interior angles. So that is why we can use this property to, find the value of x. Angle QPT is this one. That is 3x minus 16 plus angle PTS, that is 118 degrees. 118 degrees, which is equal to 180. So we've got to, collect items, and they have been collected already. So that's going to be 3x. So negative 16 plus 18, that is going to be 118 minus 16. Negative 16 plus 118. So 118 minus 16, and that will give me 102. So you have plus 102, which is equal to 180 here. So I have to subtract 102 from both sides, and that will give me 3x equal to 180 minus 102. Or you can just say that we've just taken this to this side, and that's going to be minus, right? So you have 3x equal to 180 minus 102, and that'll give me 78. So you have 78. You got to get this one, well, yeah. So I divide through by 3, here 2 by 3. So 3 here 1 goes here 1. 3 can go into 78 how many times? So that's going to be 26. So x is equal to 26 degrees. So that is it. Easy, right? Let's take our next question. Parallel to line DF. That's a symbol for parallel. So whenever you say something like that, it means power lines. Angle CBT is 40 degrees, and that is what we have here. Angle CBT, 40 degrees. And angle DET. Angle DET is 140 degrees. We define the value of the reflex angle Y. Reflex angle, reflex angles, they are more than 180, but they are less than 360 degrees. So the value of Y should be within this range. It should be within this range. Now let's get it started. First of all, what you have to know is that for diagrams like this, it is not easy to use the angle property that we know already here. So you have to withdraw the diagram by introducing a third power line, and that will make it feasible for us to use the angle properties that we know already. So as it stands, the angle properties are not showing up. You can see the angle properties here, the alternate angles, the corresponding angles, they are not showing up here. So once I introduce the third power line, you see what is going to happen. So let's do that here right now. So the next thing is to introduce your third, power line. You can going to be something like this. So it has to pass through the point, this point. Okay, so that's my third power line. And as it stands, this line is parallel to the two previous lines. You can decide to call this line, PT, because we have T here already. So that's going to be line PT. So let's see what's going to happen. Now that we have a third power line, you can see that the angle properties, they are showing up. This angle, it alternates with this angle. And that of this angle alternates with this particular angle. So that's what's going to happen. Angle CBT, this angle is the same as this angle since they alternate. You should know how to use, these points to name angles. They are very, very important. They are very, very crucial in solving angle questions. So angle CBT, that means this angle. So angle CBT is equal to this particular angle. You can call it angle PTB. Angle PTB. And that is equal to 40 degrees. And the reason is that they alternate. So they alternate angles. So this angle here is for angle TEF. Angle TEF is also equal to TP. But the question is, we don't know this angle. So we can't find this angle too. But we can use our angle property to find this particular angle. And which property are we going to use here? That is angles on a straight line, right? So we can just pause and work, find the value of that before we continue. So let me work it here. EET, this particular angle plus this angle, that is angle TEF. Angle TEF, they equal to 180 degrees. They're straight line angles. Angle DET is 140 degrees. So we have 140 degrees here plus angle TEF, that is what we don't know. It's equal to 180 degrees. So simply, we just subtract 140 from both sides. So that's going to give me angle TEF being equal to 180 degrees minus 140 degrees. So angle TEF is equal to 40 degrees. So that means this angle, this is 40. And, it alternates with this angle. So here too is going to be 40. Right, that's the next question. So you can see that the angles here, 40, 40, and that of y, they meet at a particular point. So that's the point. So they are meeting at this point. And because of that, they are angles at a point. And you know, angles at a point, they sum up to 360 degrees. So that's the property that I'm going to use to find the value of y. So let's see, let's work it here right now. Angle BTP plus this angle, that is angle PTE. Angle PTE plus y is equal to 360 degrees. And it's 40, this one is 40, and plus y equal to this. So that's going to give me straightforward 80 plus y equal to that. Subtract 80 from both sides, and that's going to give me y equal to 360 minus 80. So y is equal to 280 degrees. So that's the value of y, and that is why it is it's a reflex angle. So we have to find the value of x. Quite interesting diagram. How do we, find the value of x? The diagram is very, very complicated, but we have to find the value of x. How do we do it? You can pause the video, do it before we do it here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to redraw this diagram so that I can see the angle properties well. I'm going to elongate the power lines. I'm going to, extend the lines so that we can see the angle properties very well. This point of intersection, you can call it point R. So let's see what's going to happen here right now. Now I can see the angle properties very clearly, and this is what I see. This particular angle, and that's they form, alternate angles. I'm talking about this. Let me highlight with the red ink. So you see they form the Z shape. So the intercepted angles are the same. So if here is 70, then here too is going to be 70. Angle QTR, angle QTR is equal to angle, this is P. So let me even write the P here. PRT is equal to angle PRT. And that is equal to 70 degrees. The reason is that they are alternate. So these are alternate angles. So how do we find the value of x? Let's say something. This particular angle here, this angle, the angle x, is the same as this angle. Now what's the reason? The reason is that they correspond. So I can say that angle x is equal to angle SRP. This is angle SRP. Okay. And how do we find the value of x? Angle SRP, which is x, and 70, they form angles on a straight line. So this implies that angle SRP plus angle PRT is equal to 180 degrees. So angle SRP is x, so that is this one, plus angle PRT, that is this one. So 70 is equal to 180. So x is equal to 180 minus 70. So x is equal to 110 degrees. So that is how we can find the value of x. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.